Graders, Mr. Dubroy here. Third graders, you saw on the slide that we are going to work today to solve 2 times 30. Now, some of you might be thinking, 2 times 30, what does that mean? What does that equal? I don't know. Some of you might already know. And if you do already know, that's great. But work with me and follow me on these series of steps that we're going to take towards solving this problem, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tilt this a little bit down. You'll still see my face as I move back, but I'll be out of the view a little bit. First thing we want to do, 2 times 30, we know in math we want to model our thinking. We want to model what the actual problem is. So 2 times 30, what is 2 times 30? Right, fantastic. Many of you are probably saying right now, well, what that is in real life, if we picture that, it's actually 2 equal groups of 30, right? 2 equal groups of 30. And we want to model that. Now, I'm of course in my house, as everybody else is, and I don't have all those math tools available to me to model them, unfortunately. But I did think of a way that I can model this that shows a picture and that's really clear, and it's something that we all know, and that is base 10 shorthand. Okay, now I don't have my base 10 blocks, but I can use base 10 shorthand to do this. So 2 equal groups of 30, 2 times 30. So what does that actually look like? Well, I can model it with my base 10 shorthand. I'll do 2 equal groups. Now we know that this is 1, 2, 3. That's 3 longs, right? And we know that 1 long represents how many? Represents 10, right? We know that. We've used these all the time. Okay, so I've got 1 group, I've got 2 groups. So there's my model of what my actual problem is. 2 equal groups of 30. Remember that each one of these is a long, so each one of those represents 10. Okay, can't really see that, but on the top there I wrote a 10. And so another way of writing that, third graders, is when I look at this, I have how many 10s? I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 10s. And here I have, what do I have? Again, I have 3 10s. And when I add these 3 10s together, 3 10s plus 3 10s equals how many 10s? Well, it equals 6 10s. 6 longs, right? 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2, 3 equals 6 longs. And another way to write that, third graders, again, is this, right? 30, because another name for 3 10s, 10, 20, 30. Another name for 3 10s is 30, plus 3 10s, which is 30, equals, what's another name for 6 10s? Bingo, 60. Okay? So we know now that 2 equal groups of 30, so 2 times 30, 2 equal groups of 30, equals 60. So 2 equal groups of 30 equals 60. Now, some of you might have noticed something when I was doing that. Some of you might have said to yourself, oh, you know what? I actually noticed something within this fact, and that's this. 2, 3, and 6. Why did I underline that? Well, I underlined that because if you think about it, what's 2 equal groups of 3? What's 2 times 3? 2 equal groups of 3, 2 times 3 is 6. So 2 equal groups of 3 is 6. 2 equal groups of 30 is 60. So today, we're going to learn how we can use basic facts. 2 times 3 equals 6. That is our basic fact, 2 times 3 equals 6. That can help us solve these larger extended facts, which is 2 times 30 equals 60. All right? So I'm going to crouch down a little bit, and we're going to do this together. So if I have 2 times 3, I'm going to write it here. 2 times 3. And if I want to represent that with base 10 shorthand, okay, I can do that with this, right? What is this actually? Well, it's 2 equal groups of 3. So I have 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3. We all agree there, right? The next one we can represent here is 2 times 30. So that's the extended fact. 2 times 3 is the basic fact. 2 times 30 is the extended fact. And how can I represent that? Well, I did that up there with 2 equal groups of 30. Okay. And my next extended fact that we're going to solve today is this one. 2 times 300. Now, how can I represent that? 2 times 300. Well, again, I can use my base 10 shorthand. But I'm not going to use my longs, okay? Because I know that when I'm doing my base 10 shorthand, what I can do is I can use a square. And the square represents 100. So I now have two equal groups of 300, and each square we know represents 100 in base 10 shorthand. Okay. Perfect. So now I can use, and I can go ahead and solve this. 2 times 3 equals 6. Two groups of 3. 2 times 30 equals, we already set up there, 60. Using 2 times 3 equals 6. Okay, so we know it is 60. And finally, 2 times 300, well, what does that equal? What is 2 times 3? We know 2 times 3 is 6, but we're in the hundreds. So what is 2 times 300 going to equal? And I apologize, I ran out of space here. But it's going to equal 600, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 100. Okay, we have 600s. All right? So, using 2 times 3, using this basic fact of 2 times 3 to help us solve these extended facts, really, really important to model our thinking as well. Okay? Turn to the next slide, and you'll get some further instructions.